Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is going to be a part of the scrapbooking with me weekend challenge, and it's the sketch challenge, and this is a sketch right here, which of course I will make sure to include during the video. It'll be in the upper right hand corner, which I'll also point out to you as we get started right there. And I've already kind of pre-started. I have a pattern paper that I cut 11 by 11 square out the center, and then I'm going to attach the plaid to my pink background. Now, you could have done it a couple of different ways. You could have obviously just cut a square of the pink paper and just attached it right to the plaid. I didn't want to do it that way only because I really like the plaid paper, and I figured if I wanted to save something out of one or the other, I wanted to save that. So that's why I did the frame and just trying to make it as easy as possible as far as attaching. Now I went around with the ATG gun and some art glitter glue because inevitably you put something down with the ATG and it'll stick right away. By using the art glitter glue with it, it gives you a little bit of time to maybe move stuff around and set it up. I kind of ripped it while I was putting the ATG tape on it, so I may put that little button up there, but I may do something else. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just going to lay everything out with how I've kind of figured it, and I'm using basically sort of like project life cards, something similar to that. There's some ephemera pieces. They're not the same exact size, but it still works with the grid. So what I decided to do was I'm going to tape directly to the paper all of the photos, and then the other pattern papers I'm going to lift up with fun foam. And so that's why I'm basically cutting it up, the fun foam, and getting everything ready to go with those. And then we'll talk about how I kind of, I guess, figure out placement from there. And sorry, some of this is off camera. You're seeing little bits as I'm trying to cut it, figuring out like exactly what pieces. All right. So now I'm just going to start taping this up and laying it down. And this is the side where it has no adhesive, so that's why I put down the ATG tape and some of the art glitter glue, so that way it's secure to the piece that you're sticking it to. You can do it actually both ways. You can do it where you take off the backing and put the sticky part straight to your project. And then you would just put the ATG tape and glue on the non-sticky side and attach it to the project. It's up to you. Either way, there's no wrong or right way to use it. Whichever, you know, makes you happy, I guess. Because I know everyone does it differently. If I'm trying to figure out where to place something, then I'll do it the opposite way, so I can leave the backing on and then move stuff around, and with what I'm trying to figure out. So like you'll see when I'm using it on like flowers or decoration, different pieces like that, I'll do it the reverse way, so then I have wiggle room. You know what I mean? Like I can move it around, put it over here, put it over there, and not have to worry about it sticking. And so I'm just playing with placement. Now the thing with a grid pattern, if you're someone who's a stickler about definitely making sure everything is evenly spaced and all that, you can have these. These drive me nuts because it never fails. It always feels like I'm putting it evenly and I got everything set up right, and then I'll relook at it and I'm like, ugh, I'm off. So like half the time I'm talking to myself and just saying, get over it, just keep going, lay it down, keep going, because otherwise I'll walk away from grids all the time. Like even when I'm doing a card sketch and it has like 3 pieces of paper and you're supposed to line them up evenly spaced, it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. If any of you know a better way to figure it out, please leave the comments down below. I would so appreciate it. I've tried starting with the center and working my way out. I've tried measuring correctly like one side and working from that piece. No. No, no, no. So I take my trusty Tim Holtz ruler and I'm figuring out, okay, maybe a quarter from that edge. I'm going to come up an inch. Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Like an inch from the bottom. And already I'm like, okay, so then I can't do an inch because you saw I had to move that one up. And then I'm like, well, that's too much space in between. And then you just come to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm putting this stuff down. Calling it a day. Calling it a day right now. Mission over it. Okay. So I'm laying everything back, trying to just kind of see how everything is going, and it's going to be okay. And I realize, look, see how close I am to the right hand side where I just put that one piece? Don't care. I'm going to go ahead and just work this out. This is me, if you could see my face, I'm over it face. And then we're going to go ahead. I'm just trying to make sure I'm also nice and straight on the side. And then that's it. I'm just starting to lay them down. Art glitter glue with the ATG tape once again, because I know a lot of people always wonder, like, why are you using two adhesives? And it's literally just to give me a little bit of time that if I put it down wrong, I can pick it back up and not destroy my project. That is the goal. Now, sometimes for me too, I do know, depending on the tape I use, if it's ATG, most of the time it does stay down, but I've had projects where I go back later and I'm like, why is this pulling up? I mean, I was using, ATG tape or whatever, and it just starts lifting. So I will use the art glitter glue as like a way of making sure, like this ain't coming up. You know what I mean? And once I had those laid down, I'm going to attach my bottom three. Now, this one I did first because I wanted it to be in line, obviously, with that middle piece. And then the other two are different size. So the green one here, when I peel the backing off, I am going to hit it with some of the art glue because that adhesive sometimes doesn't want to stay down. That's on the backing. And that one I was kind of okay with, where it kind of fell down. I was like, okay, I'll just keep that there. And then this one, it's a little bit wider than the regular cards. So it is going to fill up a little bit more space over on the side. And I got it a little bit closer to the white. But I'm okay with that. I really am. I like that little pocket. It's from an ephemera pack. And I liked how I could put my journaling down in there. And you'll see on the other side, I'm going to do some other stuff with some stickers and stuff like that. I felt that camera, I liked the camera, but it was too small. And then I was thinking of putting the flowers over there. And I wind up moving that in a little bit. And, oh, I was showing you the stencil. I had that on the side, but I decided not to use it. But I'm trying to figure out, oh, I got some, big flowers. I like that water can with the flowers. The sun was a bit much. I don't have nothing really yellow on there, so I had to take it off. I'm like, okay, no. And then I decided, ooh, I like that. I like how it had beautiful and it had the flowers with it. And the pattern behind it doesn't like draw away from it. I knew I wanted to use these birds. I just think they're so pretty. And I was looking at the umbrella, but I was like, is it too matchy-matchy? And it doesn't quite make sense. We were indoors. Like, why do we need an umbrella there? And then I thought about the butterfly. But you'll see, I'm going to put the bird there. And I was like, you know what? Then let me do this. I'm going to move the butterfly. I'm going to put the blue one up at the top and the purple down over on the side like I was going to. Perfect. And then I moved that other flower and I decided maybe I want to put a camera over here. But I didn't want the camera to take up most of the picture. So I'm going to go to the puffy stickers. And there's actually a camera on that. And I'm going to go with that. I'm just looking through the sticker sheet. I really didn't see anything on there. And then that's when I grab the phone. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this camera on here. Now, as I start to get ready to lay, everything down and put glue behind everything, I'm taking some foam, a little bit of foam that was on the back of that, kind of like that banner piece, and I'm going to put art glitter glue on the back so that way it'll lay nice and flat. And that little tear I had is now covered with the together and the banner. And on that flower, I'm going to put all my little tiny scraps of fun foam. I'm going to put that on the back here. And you can see, like I was telling you, I'm putting the adhesive side down. And then that'll allow me that time to kind of move it around if I decided I didn't want to put it there or I want to put it someplace else. It just gives me that little bit of room. And then, but I was secure with where it was going. So glue it up, lay it down. Oh no. And then on this one, on the bird, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of the glue at the bottom. I didn't want to put any up at the top, obviously, because the tag is going to go in and out and I didn't want it to get messed up or to stick to it. I put the other bird straight down. And then we're going to add a few of these puffy stickers. One says super fun, little moments, and then the other one just says in full bloom. And really that statement doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that I'm using 3 similar items and I wanted to, go in threes. And then I wanted to use some of the flat, kind of like buttons. This one says happy days. The other one is a flower inside of it. And then I grabbed a smaller version. I was going to use this metal button one, but I decided to put it off to the side. And I'll use it on another project and put that one right there. All right. And then I grabbed some enamel dots and I'm going to put them kind of scattered about using the 3 different colors. I was going to also put down a yellow from this, and I was like, okay, still, again, there's no yellow. So I just grabbed one of the light blues for the center of the flower, and then a pink and another little green. And then same thing up at the top, doing another little cluster. Yeah, that's where I decided to put it back. I was like, And then another green. Okay, so once that's on there, then I decided, let me go ahead and do the date. It was the same date from the last layout I did, so I just stamped it again. I wanted to put the date right there. And then I'm just going to put some glue underneath some of these buttons real quick because I just want to make sure, like I said, they don't come up. If it doesn't lift up or it gives me problems, I just leave it. So that way I don't tear nothing. And then I'm going to real quick just write my little journaling. I liked the idea of keeping like my journaling covered, especially if I'm not writing the prettiest or, it's just a fun little element to have on top of your layout. A nice little like peekaboo. And then we're going to put some twine, and let me tell you, this twine gave me the fits. It was like I couldn't find the piece to like take it out and be able to unwrap it. And you're going to see eventually I'm just going to tear it because I'm over it. Okay. I'm like, did they not want you to use it? It doesn't make sense. See, I made a fist. I was like mad. I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me just cut a little bit. Then I can get it to come off. And right here, I'm like, you know what? I'm still trying. I'm like, forget it. So I just tear it. I'm like, now I got 2 pieces and the other pieces will be easier to take it off. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, all that just to have a little topper on my tag. So now I'm going to put it in there. I realized, okay, I wanted a little like more of a knot. And then I'm just going to trim and have a little, just a little bit hanging out. And then, okay, so once I had all that done, I knew I wanted to do some splatter. So I'm going to grab some scrap black paper I have to cover up my photos. And I decided I wanted to use another mica mist. This one is the Pink Carnation. I also wind up using the Midnight Horizon. And I use the white and the black. So on this one, I do wind up using 4 colors. I was thinking about using some like gold or silver, and I was just like, you know what, I really don't have any gold on here, so I'm not going to do that. There was a little bit of a silver shimmer on the birds, on the 2 birds, sort of like a holographic feel, but I really didn't want the silver. I just wanted a little bit of the splatter with the pink and the blue to give a little hints of color, and then black and white is a staple. If I don't splatter with nothing else, I'm splattering with black and white because I think it's just, it really does finish it out just very nicely. And then let me see, is there anything else? Oh, I'm going back with the blue, and I was just tapping the blue at first with my hand, and then I was like, you know what, let me just get my little hitter, my little tool here, and that way I'll be done and it'll be good. And then I just needed a little bit more white in the center. I didn't really use it that much, so I was like, let me hit that. I was trying to do control splatters, and I've come to the realization that my idea of control splatters is not going to be like everybody else's because I put splatters everywhere. So that's my control, okay? It's all over the whole thing. Instead of just doing like a little bit in one section, yeah, I can't do it. All right. So thank you guys for coming along on this journey. It was really a lot of fun playing with the grid sketch and, you know, using some bright colors just to have fun and make something really cute. It's spring. I know we're all going through a lot, especially with everything that's going on nowadays. But, you know, one of the great things about creativity is the fact that it allows us to kind of just take a pause and rest the mind for a second and do something that may bring someone else some joy. So if you're able to make something for someone, then do that, because I'm telling you, it'll make you feel better inside. And, you know, just keep creating, because you can only control what you can and what you do, and that's what matters. So thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you with our next video.